ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to Financial Survival, sponsored by Discount Gold and Silver Trading. 1-800-375-4188. I'm Melody Cedarstrom, and today, it's the 15th of April, 2009. And again, thank you for joining us on this tax day. And I don't know, I heard briefly that they actually evacuated some area in Washington or something because somebody threw a couple of tea bags. I mean, I thought we were paranoid. Anyway, thank you for joining us this afternoon. You're listening to Financial Survival, sponsored by Discount Gold and Silver Trading, 1-800-375-4188. For all your gold and silver coin needs, visit our website at discountgoldandsilvertrading.net, discountgoldandsilvertrading.net. And, of course, if you have any questions for the program, you can email them to us at discountgoldandsilver@yahoo.com, discountgoldandsilver@yahoo.com. And, again, thank you for joining us today. Gold, it's stabilizing anyway at $8.92, up $1.70. We have silver up a penny at $12.79. Platinum up 14 at $12.27, and palladium we're looking up $4 at $240. So those are the prices on the day, and not a bad day. It fluctuated. We did have a high of $8.98, so of course they whacked it down, and our favorite word, manipulation. This is exactly what they do, and it's so obvious anymore. And we have Robert Chapman joining us today, as he does each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, from the International Forecaster, editor, and publisher. Good afternoon, Bob.
Well, good afternoon. And we see the market went up 109 points today.
Unbelievable.
And the news is not good. And but, you know, that's the way it is. People just have to come to terms. When you have a corporatist, fascist, dictatorial government, this is what you have to expect. In fact, my next issue of the International Forecaster, I talk about that, which will be on Saturday. Our issue today has already gone out. And, you know, I was on a program this morning that was put on by a local station that is AM/FM out of Palm Beach in Florida, and I really had an opportunity to go over what the Fed is doing, and you know why it should be abolished, and so on, and I get some pretty sophisticated answers from people, and they were very interested, and they were very filled in politically. But you know, groups like that know what's going on. In fact, some of them mentioned the Council on Foreign Relations, the Trilateral Commission, the Bilderberger Group, which rather surprised me. It's the real point here is that these people do what they want to do, and it's something that's very difficult for the public to deal with, who understand it. I mean, I would say probably 70% of the public does not have a clue as to what goes on in the financial and markets and in the economy. I put out some MetLife's statistics and Sandy's issue, which are just appalling. I mean, most people are 2 or 3 weeks away from bankruptcy. If they lose their job, it's over. And, you know, people like that, they're really not paying attention either. They supposedly don't have time to do that. And so we have a great many people out there who don't understand what's going on. But the Dow was up 109, and S&P was up about 90. Gold's up $1. Silver's out 2 pennies. And sort of a lackluster day, and we have them from time to time. A little disappointed that gold didn't move $4 or $5 higher. I could tell real early this morning it really wasn't going much of anywhere by the action, but it will. We're gonna get a run here, probably during June, and it'll probably be very strong. It'll go back up to 950, 60 pretty easily. How far it'll go beyond that, we don't know until we get there, but that's still a healthy move. The volume of interest has fallen off in the last, I would say, 3 or 4 weeks. We're not seeing the interest in the gold-silver area that we normally do. But I think, tax time has something to do with that. And if they bought numismatic coins, they wouldn't have to pay taxes when they made money. Right, Melody?
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, it's kind of a nothing day. And I have a question here on interest rate swaps. And I think it's really too sophisticated to get into in this program. And I apologize to Joe, but he does say something in regard to marking to market or marking to model. And, of course, marking to model means you can make it anything you want. And he says, I have recently come into great wealth, revaluing my penny collection with the new mark-to-model rules. My pennies are now worth $1 million each. Stand by for my incredible earnings report. And I think it's so apropos because we had Wells Fargo and then Goldman report, and the street knew what they were going to do. And what happened was the money went from the Fed to AIG to all of these banks in different countries, in total $101 million, $101 billion. And I think if I recollect correctly, Goldman got about $10 billion. And what they did is they went into some interest rate securities, which were a lock because they knew which way interest rates were going to go, because they handle the orders for the government, they and several others. And so they had a lock on making money, and that money was what produced the earnings that they had in the first quarter. I think it was $3.6 billion. What they don't tell you is the earnings came from that money which was lent to them surreptitiously, secretly. And they don't tell you that the reason why Goldman Sachs now wants to give the money back to government, of course, they don't want to pay the penalty. There is a penalty. And they're arguing with government, supposedly, and government's going to say, well, we're not going to hold you to that. And they'll give them the money back. But they made a boodle of money in order to pay out bonuses. That's what it was all about. And if you notice, the bill that passed the House was killed by our president, and that bill would have taxed bonuses 90%. And they killed that bill. So they kill the bill, they give them the money, they take the money and make money with it, then they give the money back. The money was created out of thin air by the Fed that they're lending out. And Goldman Sachs says, we really didn't want this money in the first place. We were forced to take it. Now, tell me another one. Now, at the bottom of all this, if you remember, Goldman Sachs became a bank holding company. And the reason they did that was to borrow that money. And so they're lying. I mean, any good detective, any good researcher, which is a detective actually, right away spots the inconsistencies. These people can't even lie straight. Either that or they don't care. Maybe a little of both. But anyway, I thought they'd bring that up in relation to Joe's letter. And I'm sorry about the interest rate swaps, but I pass on it. It's too sophisticated to go into in this program. All I can tell you is that sooner or later they're all going to blow up. And when they blow up, you don't want to be around because the market's going to collapse. And that has to happen in time. Don't ask me when, but it will happen. You can't make something out of nothing. And that's what they've been doing. And we're just going to have to suffer through the interlude.